Welcome to Children's Literature. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in two straight lines. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were looking for a place to live, but every time Mr. Mallard saw what looked like a nice place, Mrs. Mallard said it was no good. "Where's Papa going with the axe?" said Fern to her mother as they were setting the table for breakfast. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind or another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." If you give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna ask for a glass of milk. All opening lines from great books written for children. Hopefully you recognize some. Dr. Seuss's One Fish, Two Fish, Ludwig Bemelman's Madeline, Robert McCluskey's Make Way for Ducklings, E.B. White's Charlotte Webb, Maurice Sendak Where the Wild Things Are, and Lori Joffe Numeroff's If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Children's literature is the foundation for youth literacy development. According to the U.S. Department of Education, children who are read to at home enjoy a substantial advantage over children who are not. Children who are read to frequently are more likely to be able to do the following before entering kindergarten: count to 20 or higher, write their names, and read or pretend to read. In addition, the more types of reading material that there are in the home, the higher students are in reading proficiency. And students who do more reading at home are both better readers and have higher math scores. The simplest way to make sure that we raise literate children is, of course, to teach them to read and to show them that reading is a pleasurable activity. And that means, at its simplest, finding books that they enjoy, giving them access to those books, and letting them read them. As Neil Gaiman, one of my favorite children's and adult authors, states, there is no such thing as a bad book for children. However, you aren't a child. So why are you reading children's literature? Let me take a couple of guesses. You're interested in children's literature because of fond memories of books from your youth. You might be a writer or an artist, maybe both, and you're thinking about creating children's books. You might have a strong love of literature, and children's literature is an area you hadn't thought about studying. After all, it's children's lit. You have children in your life, or you might have them in the future, so you want to know how to select books for them. You have children in your career plans: teacher, nurse, psychologist, lawyer, social worker, and you need to know what children read, why children read, and how books work with social, emotional, and physical developmental progression. You're taking the class because it's children's lit, so it should be an easy A, right? No. The work you do in this class will be just as intensive as if you were taking an American literature class or a British literature class. Children's literature is written for children and youth, but the analysis of children's literature requires careful attention to text as well as insightful interpretations of the ways in which authors and illustrators present the human condition, the physical world, imaginative experiences, and global forces. Children's literature is a $4 billion a year industry that impacts social practices, politics, financial markets, schools, literacy rates, history, and art. Whatever your reason for your interest in children's literature is a big deal.